All right. Yeah. Okay, I've been writing this book since that time in college, but really in earnest since about 3 years ago. And when I gave the early drafts to some folks from work, my pastor Jen, who wrote the foreword, and my kids, their feedback was, there's not enough mom in the book, and there's not enough you in the book. And you need to share more about yourself and your work and the way that you mentor folks and the way that you coach folks. And I found that very difficult to do. I found that very challenging. And I figured out some clever ways to kind of sneak it in there. Like in the Spotlights chapter, even though I'm talking about the Clints and all these other people, I kind of pat myself on the back along the way, that kind of thing, to try to allude to some stuff I've done, some accomplishments I may have had. When I talk about mentoring others, I kind of do it through sharing their accomplishments and that kind of thing, But I would say that was the biggest shift in writing of the book. I did do a couple of other smaller shifts, and one of them is going to come up here, and it's going to be our chance to listen to David Warren share a song. And sometimes I would change the quotes at the top toward the end. In one case, I saw this pastor, Ian Simpkins, that I follow, had this great quote. And so I just wrote him, and he let me use it in the book. In this case, I was writing this story about Owen and Jenny. Who knows who Owen and Jenny is?
I do.
Donna? Who's Owen and Jenny? Noah and Franny. Yep. So when I was done writing the chapter, I had a different quote up there, and then I was sitting in my driveway, and David has written a number of songs. He's actually pretty prolific, and I was listening to his song "The Hard Way," and it really kind of hit me that a lot of what he was saying in his song, I guess I should have told you to beware. Forewarning is no defense against life. A heart that's afraid to love just grows old or cold. Is that right? Old or cold? Cold. Old. I have old here. I did it right. Okay. Just grows old. And it really reminded me of what I was trying to get across in that chapter. So here's John again. Wasn't that bright? Because I thought if you grow up in the settings that my kids grew up in, you won't have to go through any of this stunad stuff, because we're going to build you up. We're going to teach you all these great things about how awesome you are, and you won't ever have any self-doubt. You won't ever have any hurt. You won't have the kind of triggers I had, because I thought it was all based on the way that I grew up. But I was so wrong, especially as I watched my kids struggle through some of the same things I struggled through. And it just goes to show that, no matter what setting you're in, that Sergeant Stunad can be there, no matter what kind of great family life you have, you can still struggle with some of that stuff. And so that was one of the big learnings that I was hoping folks would take out of this chapter about them. And the thing that I found really awesome, though, with Noah / AKA Owen, was that he came out of it so fast. Whereas it took me decades, it only took him a few years to kind of snap out of it and find his Jenny, his Franny, and kind of move forward. And so I'm not going to, in the interest of time, I'm not going to read to you a lot out of the book, but basically there's a story in there about how Noah was trying to lure Franny to this surprise engagement party. And it was on the Savannah Riverwalk where they first, kind of kindled their relationship. And we were all watching the tracking dot as he was trying to get her to leave this museum. And it turns out the museum is a museum of horrors, which, if you know Franny, she loves horror movies. And she was not leaving that thing for anything. And so we're like watching the clock, watching the dot, nothing's happening. So then it just brought me back to this other time when Noah had his previous girlfriend, and we were watching his tracking dot go all over Charleston, and we didn't know where he was going because he was kind of in a triggered moment, you know. And that particular girlfriend wasn't the healthiest relationship. They weren't healthy for each other. And so I draw that contrast to say that, you know, we can kind of go from 1 minute being full of the S version of it, you know, we can kind of have stunad in our ear, we can kind of be hurting, but if we give ourselves a chance, we can kind of pull out. Okay, and that's what he did. All right. So, I will.
Do what?
Did you
You
want
wanna
to
do
come
this?
up and talk? Oh, we're going to turn over to David.